Behind its bright colors and cheerful songs were accidents and near tragedies that almost stopped the production entirely. Buddy Ebsen, originally cast as the Tin Man, ended up in an iron lung for 2 weeks after his makeup triggered a severe reaction. Margaret Hamilton's on-set stunt went wrong when fire engulfed her, leaving lasting injuries. Judy Garland was just 16 when the studio began giving her medication to push through exhausting schedules. But the biggest mystery isn't what happened on set, it's what was never shown. An earlier cut of the film reportedly existed, and it changed everything. That version was around 20 minutes longer. When MGM saw it, they cut it immediately. But what exactly was in those missing scenes? And why were they erased forever? Everything changed in 1937 when Disney released Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It shocked Hollywood, earning about $8.5 million from a $1.5 million budget, and proving animation could dominate cinema. Audiences flooded theaters for its music, color, and magic. Studios that once ignored animation suddenly panicked, and MGM felt it most. They feared Disney had taken over family entertainment. Louis B. Mayer quickly ordered a rival fantasy film. The search led them to one story again and again. Frank Baum's The Wonderful Wizard of Oz had everything: a familiar name, a rich world, and endless creative potential. MGM saw a chance to fight Disney with live action, music, and spectacle. Producer Mervyn Leroy pushed the idea hard. The rights cost $75,000, a huge risk for the time, but MGM believed they had no choice. From the start, pressure consumed the production. Budgets rose before filming even began, and chaos followed every decision. This wasn't just a movie, it was a response to Disney's success. The Wizard of Oz almost looked completely different. In 1934, Samuel Goldwyn owned the rights and planned a comedy version starring Eddie Cantor as the Scarecrow, filled with jokes and stage-style musical numbers. Even W.C. Fields and Shirley Temple were considered. But nothing moved until Snow White changed Hollywood. Suddenly, every studio wanted Oz. Fox chased Shirley Temple, Universal looked at Deanna Durbin, and MGM won the rights in 1938 for $75,000. Goldwyn walked away with profit. MGM inherited the risk. Cantor's version vanished, and Ray Bolger later reshaped the Scarecrow into something far more emotional. Production began, and chaos started immediately. The budget exploded from a typical $500,000 film to about $2.7 million, making it MGM's most expensive project ever. Every detail became expensive: massive sets, painted illusions, and complex effects from Arnold Gillespie's team. The Emerald City looked huge, but it was all constructed trickery. But nothing stayed under control. Fires burned costumes, makeup caused injuries, and delays piled up. Jack Dawn's Tin Man and lion designs were iconic, but painful and dangerous. Technicolor lighting overheated the set, pushing filming into months of exhaustion and reshoots. Even Dorothy's look and the ruby slippers went through multiple versions. Behind the camera, the script was just as chaotic. 12 writers rewrote it constantly, blending comedy, fantasy, and musical ideas into one unstable story. Early footage was so messy that scenes were scrapped. Victor Fleming later grounded Kansas, while writers kept rewriting dialogue even during filming. From that chaos came Over the Rainbow and the emotional core of the film. But much of the original vision was lost or destroyed. Casting Dorothy became another battle. Shirley Temple was the first choice, but Fox refused to release her. A deal even involving major stars collapsed after Jean Harlow's sudden death. Deanna Durbin nearly got the role, even singing Over the Rainbow, but was rejected for looking too mature. Judy Garland, at 16, was also considered too old, until MGM reshaped her image completely. Her voice and emotion ultimately defined Dorothy forever. Ray Bolger fought for the Scarecrow and won the switch from the Tin Man role, creating one of the film's most iconic performances. The first real audience test wasn't in Hollywood. It was in small towns like Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. MGM quietly screened it, fearing failure. The reaction changed everything. Audiences loved it, especially Over the Rainbow. MGM rushed it into major premieres before its August 1939 release. But financially, it was still labeled a loss due to massive production costs, reshoots, and delays. Behind the scenes, disaster was constant. Buddy Ebsen nearly died from Tin Man makeup. Margaret Hamilton was burned in a fire stunt, and extreme heat made filming brutal. Only years later, through re-releases and TV broadcasts, did Oz become profitable and legendary. At the 1940 Oscars, it lost Best Picture to Gone with the Wind, and Judy Garland was snubbed despite carrying the film emotionally. Still, it won Best Song for Over the Rainbow and Best Score. The song almost didn't make the cut. Studios thought it slowed the film, but it stayed and became its heart. Behind the magic, conditions were brutal, exhausting, and often dangerous. Judy Garland even received a juvenile Oscar, but the cost behind the scenes was enormous. Before release, Buddy Ebsen's collapse revealed how dangerous the Tin Man role was. After just 10 days, he couldn't breathe properly. Doctors found aluminum dust from his makeup had filled his lungs from constant exposure during filming. He was rushed into critical care and spent weeks in an oxygen tent. The studio only reacted when they saw him in an iron lung. He survived, but lost the role. Jack Haley replaced him, and the makeup was changed from loose powder to a safer paste. At the same time, Margaret Hamilton's witch stunt went wrong. She was meant to drop through a hidden lift before flames erupted above her. But during a rushed take, the timing failed. Fire exploded too early while she was still descending. Flames hit her face and hand, and her broom caught fire. She suffered second-degree burns, worsened when toxic green makeup had to be scrubbed off with chemicals. The cleaning hurt more than the fire. She spent 6 weeks recovering and returned with permanent scars. After that, she refused all fire stunts, and doubles were used instead. But danger still followed the production. Judy Garland, only 16, was pushed through exhausting all-night shoots. To keep her working, the studio gave her stimulants and sleeping pills afterward. It became a cycle that slowly turned into dependency, and even the film itself almost took a darker turn. One of the strangest lost sequences was the jitterbug scene. The Wicked Witch would unleash a nightmare insect that made Dorothy and her friends lose control, twitching and dancing through the haunted forest as it came alive around them. Rehearsals lasted 5 weeks, but filming took just 4 days. It cost around $80,000, but was cut before release because executives feared it felt outdated and broke the film's tone. Only fragments survive today in audio and brief clips, and it wasn't the only lost scene. The original ending was meant to be a full victory parade through the Emerald City, bands, crowds, dancers, and a grand musical finale, but it was cut for pacing and tone. Today, only scraps remain, stills, notes, and trailer glimpses of what once existed. Even darker ideas were cut earlier, like the Tin Man being turned into a living beehive during a witch attack, with bees swarming across his metal body. A few surviving images still hint it was filmed. Over time, more fragments keep resurfacing: audio discs, music cues, lost recordings. Each discovery suggests the same truth: the Wizard of Oz we know might only be part of what was actually made.